The MTA board says it needs more than $68 billion to keep the transit system from falling into disrepair following the pause in congestion pricing. But today's capital plan vote is only part of the battle. Elijah Westbrook covers transportation, and he explains what this means for riders.
In order to keep these trains and buses running frequently, reliably, and most of all, safely for the next 5 years, the MTA says it needs $68.5 billion in its upcoming capital program. We watched as each board member raised their hand in approval for this ambitious proposal. But here's the catch. Close to $33 billion of that amount is unaccounted for.
We're adopting a program recognizing that Albany ultimately has decision-making over how it's funded and how much.
The proposed 2025-2029 capital plan outlined in this 119-page document shows that riders would see 2,000 new rail cars overall, the bulk of them for subways, which would replace cars older than some of the commuters who ride them. The plan also includes new modern subway signals, the rebuilding of key infrastructure, and accessible stations. It's something these subway riders we talked to say they'll believe it when they see it.
I think it would be more efficient as far as the trains picking us up, especially late at night.
I think that's a good idea, hopefully they keep their word and they do it.
MTA leaders are admitting the plan is certainly ambitious.
I'm daunted by this plan. $68 billion is an enormous amount of money.
Now, mind you, this is all happening as the MTA continues to deal with a $16 billion shortfall in its current capital program, which leaders have yet to discuss how they plan to pay off that debt. As for what's next, the proposal is expected to be viewed by the state legislature and Governor Hochul, who will decide if it's able to provide funding towards the plan. We're told they have until October 1st. If it swings unfavorably for the MTA, it could lead to rough commutes in the near future.
And Elijah is here in studio to talk more about this. Does the MTA have a backup plan, Elijah, in case the state doesn't approve this funding?
Well, it's a really good question, Christine. So there really isn't a plan B that's been put in place, according to the MTA. That very question was asked to the chairman and CEO, Janno Lieber, about a plan B. He says that he feels optimistic that the state will provide the funding for this capital program. $33 billion is currently what's on the line right now.
It's a lot of money.
It is a lot of money.
What is all of that going to include? What improvements could we see?
Well, we talked about some of them in the story there, and we actually have a full screen that we would like to show our viewers of some of the other projects that are currently in place. So we know this includes, of course, updating some of the aging infrastructure, so those elevated subway lines, some of these substations that actually power the system. A lot of them are more than a century old. It also states that the money would go towards building the Interborough Express. It's that light rail system that would connect Brooklyn and Queens. We also see their new fare gates and improve flood protection. So there's a lot that's entailed with this capital plan, especially as the system ages.
And the goal is to keep those subways running for all of us.
That's
Elijah,
right.
thank you.